The term matriarch may not be a word you reach for often, but many of our viewers are one, or they're on their way to becoming one. Matriarch simply means a woman who is the head of her family. And the women who watch our show have expressed that the opportunity to step up and lead their family from the top feels a little overwhelming. You know, you want to be intentional about how you lead your little generational family chapter, but you aren't exactly sure how to approach it. Well, that's where this series begins. All week long, we'll be talking to the modern matriarch. We'll help you uncover your confidence so that you can step into that matriarchal role with intention. Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend will start us off, and he's sharing, I mean, is that a little weird that you're a man starting our matriarch series?
Yeah.
That's
but
how we're doing it.
I'm the product of a matriarch.
And he's sharing solid family leadership, what that looks like. And because you say your mom was a great example of this.
Again, all leadership is, it's relationships and the ability to get things done with people. And who better personifies that than the matriarch? But a lot of times they don't think they have those skills. So I spent 7 years with a leadership company, Franklin Covey, training leadership all over the world, really. And what's funny, everything that makes a great leader is what makes a great mom. Oh. They're the same thing. We just don't see it that way. So we want to blow up some myths. This is my mom. She's single. She was a single woman raising 4 children. 3 of them were my sisters, right? So I was raised by 4 women. I have very strong women in my life.
Yeah.
And I was the baby, so I was the blessed golden child. But it's power. There's power in moms. There's power in strong women. And there's power in getting over your fears.
Is that kind of, I was going to say, do you have like an overreaching, like how do we become strong leaders? Yeah. Getting over fear?
And doing it. You have to act. Moms act all the time on this anyway. So I think some of this is just reframing what a leader is, because I think we have all these weird ideas about what it is. It's way more local. It's way more about the relationship and about your influence on these people.
Okay, I love it. And I absolutely love just your very first point that you're making, that I think we know intuitively as moms, but if you don't lead, they're going to follow someone else.
Someone else or something else, right? So there's a marketing world out there that will lead them. And all they want is their time and their attention and their focus. So if you don't somehow start pulling leadership and getting followership, they're going to naturally just follow the internet. They're going to follow their favorite influencers. They're going to follow whatever the kind of the lowest grade is. So part of this is about not to scare you, but you got to step up. By the way, and it's not more than you're already necessarily doing. It's just maybe more intentional as the role of the matriarch.
And do you feel like there's kind of this balance? Because I know a lot of parents are like, I just want to be their friend. And yeah, we do want to be their friends, but you have to balance that with taking a lead.
Yeah, and by the way, to take a lead, friends can just kind of figure it out together. But even in friendship, there's one friend that's stronger. Yep. And there's one friend that leads. And that might be the one that leads your kid into trouble, right? Or leads your kid into some really great path. So you can still influence and guide even as they have other leaders around them.
Okay, this next point, I don't understand, so explain. Check the beliefs that stall your leadership.
There are a lot of myths that we believe in about leadership that aren't true. And especially when when all of a sudden you're a mom thrown into the situation where now you got to be the leader of your family, you might buy into some of these myths, so let's blow them up.
Okay.
One myth is that leaders have all the answers. Not true. They don't. They really don't, right? They just know how to go find them. Number 2, men are better leaders than women. Not true. Research is actually showing that in the corporate world, communication, conflict resolution, and participation and creating participation are incredibly strong traits, and actually women are stronger in those areas at building consensus and at actually making people feel good and valued.
Oh, and we have that. I mean, Brooke is our leader here at Studio 5, and I've never felt that type of leadership before, and I didn't know it was possible.
It's real.
And I'm like, oh, this is how it can be? This is amazing.
That's it. So. And notice, so you've already got some of the gifts and traits already for amazing leadership. Number 3, we believe leaders must be charismatic, extroverted, and in the spotlight. Not true. That's kind of what we think politician leaders are, but even politicians aren't usually great leaders. They're just charismatic. Mm-hmm. You can be a really powerful person and an introvert and quiet. Another one is that leaders have to do more than followers. The reality is, ladies, don't know if you noticed this, you're already doing more than everyone else. So if you're already leading by doing more, then you're already in a leadership role. If you're the one that's already thinking ahead, like, let's get this house clean, let's do this, you're already leading, so you don't have to do more. You just have to accept that now you're taking that role, right? And the last myth we want to believe is the family won't follow me. You might believe they only follow dad or whatever, but not necessarily true. They're actually wired to follow mom. Children are born to follow mom.
Just think of that mama duck,
attention to mom.
right?
It's huge. Right? So don't assume you don't have that power. It's in you already, and we just need to start directing it.
And I think women who watch this show, especially, they're looking for that, and they're looking how to do that, and they are doing it.
Exactly.
And one of those is something that we talk about a lot, that you are the keeper of your family's culture.
Right.
And we do that with so many ways, food and photographs and all of these
traditions,
things.
stories, all the history. You can be the keeper of the principles. So a family culture is a set of customs and morals a family subscribes to. It's the norms, the values, the beliefs, and the customs that we hand down generation to generation. So if you're aging and your children are kind of moving away, you could start doing an assessment. What kind of culture do we want going forward? What do my kids and grandkids need in this world to go forward? And a great place to go to figure out is go back to the past and bring the traits of our ancestors and our history, bring those traits into the new age, the new time.
Yeah, and it is weighty. I mean, for me anyway, as our parents pass, and our moms specifically,
so
then
hard.
we feel like, oh, now we've got to carry on those things. But it is so, it's important to me. And then kind of a key is, how do I make it important to my kids? And I guess it's just doing it.
Doing it, and then actually I'd also get them involved, right? And allow them to be a part of it. Also remember, because times are changing, that all of your traditions and your customs, they may need to change. So the way you adapt to change is you use timeless principles, not forced tradition. Don't force a thing that we always make fondue on Christmas Eve. Bring your fondue forks.
Did you have a microphone in my house?
Yeah,
I've been trying to say to my kids, what things do you absolutely want to do while you're in town? You know, because
what you could ask too is,
same.
what do you love most about our Christmases together? And as they explain it, listen for the principle. It's probably going to be togetherness. It's going to be fun. It's going to be relaxed. It's going to be things like that. So go create principle-based activities, not just that one tradition that we always have to do, because someday that tradition may not be there.
I know, so, okay, I'm going to put my fondue pot away. All right. And then lastly, something we always need to remember, that we lead people.
Yep.
We manage things.
So the number one key to leading is people. And it's not about moving things. It's not about always getting everything done. It's about people. So in the end, who does this better than the matriarch? But focus on the people and find ways to connect to the people. Love them, listen to them, enroll them, let them choose, let them have agency and choice. Be a participant and a witness of their own lovability, their own capability, and that they belong. Make sure they feel safe. Anything you can do that just connects the person to you is the beginning of being able to create leadership. It's all people. It's all relationship. It's all connection.
Okay, Matt, I'm fine with you being the one kicking us off on this, because these are some
product of
great
matriarchy.
ideas. You were raised by it. Okay, tell me about your Becoming One program.
By the way, in this program, I do group coaching. So people call in, we take calls, and then I coach people through their issues. They have access to videos and workshops and all these things. But I get a lot of calls from moms and grandmas that are like, how do I get my husband to follow this lead? How do I get my grandkids to want to be a part of it? So we actually deal with a lot of these issues about how to create a family culture that's loving and responsive.
All right, and we go to
MattTownsend.com.
MattTownsend.com. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Amy.